Pay close attention to this video. A woman was lying on the ground and meanwhile she was calling for help. She said she needed help getting gas in her car, but she couldn't get it. Seeing this, a man goes up to her and says that he would help her. He then goes to the woman and helps her into her car. He then manages to get the woman to sit in her car. She thanks him and says that she needed his help with one more thing. She says she wanted the man's help to get her car close to where she could fill it up. The man says that he would help her and says that she just needed to guide the car in the right direction. He goes around to the back of the car and starts pushing it. The woman thanks the man and says she couldn't tell you how grateful she was. The man then asks the woman about the wheelchair and she says it was hers. She says she had fallen out of her wheelchair and then the man says he would save it for the woman. He then takes the wheelchair to bring it from the woman's car and stores it inside. He goes to the woman and asks if she needed anything else. But at that moment, another man appears saying that he would attend to her. He then asks the woman if she needed gas in the car. She said yes, but that she needed a favor from him as she was late for a job interview and ended up forgetting her wallet at home. She then asks if the other man could give her some of the gas so she can go there. Interview and that, after the interview, she would come back to pay. The man then starts laughing, says he wouldn't give her gas for free, but she said she wouldn't stop going back and paying the man for the gas she got. She said that she had some very important documents that she needed to deliver. The other man then says she should be kidding him as he wouldn't give the woman free gas, and says she shouldn't even have money to pay him, but the woman says she wouldn't stop paying him and that after the interview, she would come back to pay. At that moment, the man arrives and asks what was going on there. The other man then says that woman was thinking she could get free gas and that she must be trying to rob their establishment. The woman then says that she would never try to rob anyone and that she just needed some gas as she had left her wallet at home. The man then says that she didn't need to worry about that because he was going to give her gas. The other man then asks the man if he was going to give people free gas again, but the man says he could relax and that he knew what he was doing. The man then goes to the gas pump and the other man says that he would again get into trouble with their boss. The man then puts gas in the woman's car, but when he finishes, he realizes that the amount was too high. He says he had the money to pay, but he needed to use that money to buy his granddaughter's medicine. He said he would help the woman as she seemed to need it more than he did. He then tells the woman that he had filled her car with gas, but that she didn't need to worry about the money, as he would pay. The woman then says that she was very grateful and that later she would pay the man. The other man says that since the man was trying to do charity for the people, he would leave as he didn't want problems with his boss. The man then says that it wouldn't create any problems for him and then tells the woman that she didn't need to worry about that and that everything would work out in her interview. She thanks the man, says she would be back soon to pay what she owed him. He then tells her that she didn't need to worry about the money, as he had seen that she needed that help. She thanks him and says that one day she would repay the man for his help. When she leaves, she ends up dropping the documents on the floor. The man sees that and goes after the woman, but at that moment, another man appears calling for him. That was the head of the man, and he came to the man and to him. He then asks the man what he was doing and then the man says that woman was in dire need of his help. The boss then says that this was the third time he had seen the man giving people free gas. The man says that it wasn't a problem, because he would pay for the fuel that the woman had taken, but his boss says that he didn't care about that, because he was already tired of that situation and says that the man was fired. The man tries to reason with his boss, but the boss says he had to leave. The man then begins to wonder what he was going to do now, since he was unemployed. At this moment, he notices that the documents had the address where the woman was going and says that he would go there to deliver the documents to her. Meanwhile, the woman was close to her interview and she was saying that she really needed that job so she could pay for the exams so she could go back to work. She then goes up to the receptionist and says that she was there for her interview, but the receptionist said it must be a joke. The woman then asks what she was talking about and the receptionist says that there was none of the documents she had asked for. The woman, then, is surprised by that says that she should have left the documents inside her car, but the receptionist says it wasn't a joke. She says that the woman should rethink her attitudes when going to an interview and not taking the necessary documents to do the interview. The woman then apologizes to the receptionist and says she would go to her car to get the documents, but the receptionist says she would take a long time to get the documents and that the establishment was already closing. The woman says she would be quick, but the receptionist says she should come back the next day with the right documents so she can do the interview. The woman then says that she should understand the situation she had been through to be able to get there, because she had gone through many challenges and that she really needed that interview. The receptionist then says that she couldn't do anything for the woman as she was already closing the establishment. The woman then leaves and starts to think about what she would do since she really needed that job. At that moment, the man arrives at the building and says that this must be the exact location. He then spots the woman and goes to her. The woman is surprised and asks what he was doing there. He says that she had dropped those documents and then decided to give them to her. She thanks him and says that he had saved her life, as she really needed those documents. She then asks the man so they can take a picture together, as she wanted to have a souvenir of him. She then says that one day she would repay the man for all he had done for her. He says it wasn't necessary and then wishes her good luck. The woman then goes back to the receptionist and then the receptionist asks what she wanted there. The woman says that she was there to hand over the necessary documents for the interview, but the receptionist says that they were already closed and that she should come back the next day. The woman then says that they still have a little time and then asks the receptionist to get her documents for the interview, but the receptionist says that they were already closed and that she would not be doing the interview that day. The woman then says that she shouldn't want to lose her job and that she should get the documents or she will tell the receptionist's boss. The receptionist then takes the woman's documents and says that she would be able to do the interview. Some time passes and the woman was thinking about how she could meet the man again. She says that she had gone back to the gas station, but that he wasn't there. She said he should have been fired on her account and that she needed to help him. At that moment, she has an idea of how she could meet the man again. She says she was going to take the photo she had taken with him and post it on the internet, saying it happened. She said that's it, someone could meet the man and help her meet him again. She writes that a few months ago, that man had helped her a lot and that she was very grateful. She says that the man's help had made her a millionaire and that now she was after him to be able to reward him for what he had done. Some time passes and a girl was looking at her cell phone when she sees the photo and realizes that it was her grandfather. She wonders what her grandfather was doing with that woman, and when she realized, she said that her grandfather was really a great person. Meanwhile, some people were taking the man's things away and he asked them not to do that. At that moment, the girl asks her grandfather what they were going to do now. The man then goes to his granddaughter and tells her that she doesn't have to worry, but he would look for another place for them to live. He says that he had promised his daughter that he would take good care of her granddaughter and that he would not fail in that promise. At that moment, the woman arrives where the man was. When he sees the woman, he is very surprised. She then apologizes for having entered his house that way, but that she really needed to talk to him. She says that she had talked to his granddaughter some time ago and that she had told him where he lived. The man then apologizes to the woman and says that he was unable to receive visitors at that time, as he was being evicted from his home and had nowhere else to live. The woman then says that she was not there to take up the man's time, but to thank the man for all he had done for her. He then says that she already thanked him and that all he had done was help him and anyone else would do the same. The woman then says that the people who helped others the most were the ones who needed help the most. She says that the help the man had given her meant that she could have a job and that, with that job, she was able to pay for her treatment and walk again. She says that now she was a millionaire because of the man and that she wanted to reward him. She says she was there to reward the man and says she wanted him to work with her. He is then surprised and asks if he would really be able to work for her, but she said that she wanted him as a partner. She gives the man the documents and tells him that he could work with her and that she would give him a house and a car. The man is surprised by that and asks if she wasn't playing with him, but she says that she would never do something like that with him. She says that the help the man had given her changed her life and that she wanted to repay the man for it. He then gets very emotional and hugs his granddaughter, saying that now they would have a place to live. He then tells his granddaughter that now they would be able to live in a house of their own. The woman then says that she had also brought a wheelchair for the man's granddaughter so that he wouldn't have to take her everywhere. The man then starts crying and tells his granddaughter that he never thought that something like that could happen to him. The girl thanks the woman and says that she has always dreamed of having a wheelchair, and then she hugs her grandfather.